adjustments to the agenda. Are there any additions or adjustments to the agenda?
I'm not gonna make the one we talked about tonight.
Okay,
I have three. One is an amendment to the SLR contract for Holmes Meadow. That's that actually was in the packet that went out Friday. The other is a letter to dead end roads, property owners on dead end roads regarding winter maintenance. And the third is a removal to remove the letter of support to VSU and remove the joint letter of support for VSU.
items 9 and 10.
9 and 10. No.
Okay, any other additions or adjustments to the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on. Invoices and orders. There was nothing in the packet for that, so we're not expecting anything coming up. Item number 3 is public comment. Is there any comment from the public?
Or what, anything?
Anything you got?
I have a question about. You guys thinking about buying the old range hall?
You can voice that as long as the speaker can hear you. What's your question?
Well, I'd like to know why you think you should buy it.
Some of that is. How far do I go without violating executive session?
And who? Who says you're gonna buy it? Does the town vote on it, or you guys make the decision for it?
I believe, and Rosemary and Tom can correct me if I'm wrong. But the select board could take ownership of a parcel. And I could be wrong again, but as long as a note is taken out, if a note is taken out, less than 60 months, we don't need. Permission from the voters to take that out. Now, all that being said. I. Don't believe there's any ill intentions of that. Is that accurate?
Well, do you have intentions to purchase it, or?
I think we're in discussions about that.
Okay. Cause I just have a little bit of problem buying another piece of property. It really isn't. What are you gonna use it for? Really?
Yep.
I mean, you bought the Jewel property up there and that's where it was.
Not yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's. But anyway.
Are you saying? I'm
I'm
trying to answer your questions
I'm
as
saying
good as I
that
can.
if you're gonna buy a piece of property, the town. People should be able to vote on it, whether you're gonna buy it or not.
Okay. That's heard
Because
from
I
all
don't think you
members.
guys should have the authority to purchase it yourself.
Okay. I think we'll take that into consideration.
Yeah, I'd take it in consideration, because if Pat decide you wanna do it. I have to say a lot of stuff,
Yep.
because Pat just keep going up every year, mine went up substantially this year. And I don't wanna move, but if I have to, I will.
Okay. Not to be rude, I don't think we've met before.
Bruce Lyon,
Bruce
I
Line.
live up on
Okay.
Millville.
Yep. I think we'll take that into consideration. For sure, it may be on town meeting day, it may not, the board hasn't decided yet, I don't even think we've made a formal offer.
So how do I find out whether you guys decide to buy it or whether you wanna put it into town meeting?
There will be. Upon ownership, a motion in an open meeting. That I believe is 100% accurate. And Rosemary would know the process, is there a way to petition the town? Or a grace period for that if. Such a decision is made? Don't know about that.
So my question is, why do you think we should purchase it?
Want me to answer?
Sure,
Well, it's the historical building and it's been with the town for approximately 200 years.
And you know, this is the very beginning stages of this discussion. You know, there could be grants out there. I know you're gonna say there could be, that's a big could. There is a lot of historic preservation grants out there. But to go back to one of your first questions that you had, by the way, my name is Mike Dunn, so.
I see that.
Well, I just should have
Thank you.
introduced myself, excuse me. It is within our right as a select board to purchase that piece of property if we did so see fit. But I am starting to err on the side of caution myself, and maybe it would be prudent to let the townspeople decide whether they want to buy it or not. Maybe there should be some meetings ahead of time to discuss the possible purchase. And I believe that everybody in the community that wants to should weigh in on their feelings one way or another. So hopefully that has answered your question to your satisfaction.
It's answered it, just as long as everybody knows if you do decide to purchase it. We have to do something.
That's gonna happen one way or another, but I really believe that.
Purchase it one way or the other.
No, that's gonna happen. In other words, like Evan said, it's gonna be all discussed once we get through this negotiating process on this.
Okay.
And it will be all an open meeting. But I can't speak for the rest of the board. But I would imagine after careful consideration, they would come to the conclusion that maybe the town ought to weigh in.
Okay.
You have anything to add to that?
Just, I think it's important to know that the board did not reach out to the studio center. But there was a covenant in the deed that required a right of first refusal back to the town. So that's why this came to light. And so the approach was the studio center to the town and not the town to the studio center.
I saw that right for you.
Okay, that's just.
Still.
Thanks, Tom, for clarifying that.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully that clears up your questions without violating anything. We have accepted another piece of
We'll
property.
answer some of that, but. If you wanna buy more property, I'll sell you some.
If it's cheap enough.
We'll have to keep that into consideration too. Any other public comment? Hearing none, we're gonna move on to select board updates and or issues or concerns. And I'm gonna lead off. That my email account was spoofed. Anybody that's watching Zoom. If you get a request from me. For doing a surprise project for the town of Johnson that asks for 7 $100 Apple gift cards. That is fake. And now all 3 people that watch our Zoom meetings will know. Any other issues, concerns, updates from the board?
Mr. Chairman, I have one.
What's that?
On our meeting on August 7th. To choose a new select board member. Under 3, it says public questions and answer session for all candidates and interview candidates for the vacant seat on the select board. That's number 4. I don't believe we went through that process when we had 6. I think it was all done in executive session. The board with the questions to the potential candidates. And I think we need to stick with what we did the last time. I really believe if you have an open session with more than one candidate, depending on who goes first. When the questions come to them, if everybody gives them the same question, the first person out the gate might have an answer. That if they watch the board, they can see whether or not it's acceptable or not, and maybe the other candidates could kind of piggyback on and maybe not get proper answers. So I think that we get the better bang for our buck, for lack of a better term, in a wholly executive session.
How does the rest of the board feel? I went through this last time when we were interviewing. When Peter was selected. And I was a little bit torn, So I didn't know if we could legally do interviews in executive session, but we got an opinion from VLCT. They said you could. I do see where. Maybe an unfair advantage could be given. To the second answers. So I'm. Open to either way, as long as when we come out. We make a motion to the public and we make our reason. For the selection, no.
I'm remembering the last time. There was a moment when. Members of the public present. Could ask. Questions, it wasn't the interview.
Public Q and A, which we have on the agenda.
Okay, it was a public Q and A, but not the interview, which was in executive session. You're talking about the interview, right? Not a.
Well, I'd like to see both of them actually.
Oh,
But,
public Q and A is open session,
okay, we'll leave that open.
Okay,
and then interview
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
Are you
I agree.
two okay with that? Looking at you, Adrian,
Yeah,
we're looking at me at the corner of your eyes.
these are thinking, I'm okay with that. Yeah,
Okay, so what we need to do, because that was already posted, Tom will be on vacation. Thank you for getting that out early. It's just under additions or adjustments, which are on that agenda. We'll clarify what we're doing. Public Q and A open. Interviews and executive session, and then we'll come out and make. Our finding of facts, if you like.
Thank you.
Thank you. While we're talking about that meeting, are you good to run the Zoom? On that, okay. Any other issues or concerns from the board?
just that.
I was just gonna give an update that the beautification committee received a $8,500 grant to help put art sculptures on Main Street. So I was just gonna congratulate Kyle and the sculptures, Michael Stanley, for working on that grant application and getting approved for it.
Thank you very much. Do we know? If there was permission from the village? Okay, perfect, wonderful, we don't own those posters.
Yeah.
Alright. Anything else? Updates, issues, concerns? Hearing none. We'll move on to the consent agenda, and for the public's information, the consent agenda is approving. The meeting minutes from July 7th, July 21st, as well as appointing Jesse Whitworth to the planning commission. Looking for a motion,
Make a motion to appoint Missy Whitworth.
just one.
Or what was the other one?
If you motion to approve the consent agenda, you would be,
Second.
okay, motion and second, further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, and the ayes have it. Floor is yours, Rosemary.
I handed out a budget status report. Not the final one yet. I'm still working on all the different grants and making up receivables for payments that came in after July of this year. Will show as a receivable.
108% of revenue.
Yes.
93% of spend.
Mm-hmm. The expense categories are pretty well finalized.
Why? Are the articles 104%?
Well, because River Arts was a
Yeah,
one of them
it was
went
an article,
yeah, it was an article.
yeah. Do the boards have questions about the budget status report? Do you have anything you'd like to point out, Rosemary? Specifically?
Good or bad?
Everything
Bad. The recording fees have. Well, very low. Until mortgage rates go down. They won't see an uptick on that.
Do you see a trend on that where it's going down at the end of the year or just the whole year?
Whole year's been slow.
Okay.
We were at 75% of what we budgeted.
So they'll be low this year too,
Probably, most likely.
most likely.
Sales have kind of tapered off too.
Do you know when we'll have end of year and be able to allocate surplus?
August,
Huh?
August,
If it's the first meeting in September, that's
see,
that's
is that
fine
fine?
with me.
Because I'm going, I will not be at the next select board meeting, I'll be way on vacation,
You're taking me with you this time.
maybe.
Anything further?
You want to discuss the land records restoration?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. Susan got a quote for scanning all the land records that have not been scanned. And the total is $14,759. That's for volumes 1 through 43. And that will take us from 1792 to 1981. 81 on has all been scanned. And as you guys remember, we had one land records book that got wet. And it cost us $3,000 just to restore it.
Yeah, are you proposing to take some funds out of the? Don't we have a land records reserve fund?
Do,
Where is that? I thought it was between 30 and 35,000.
no, don't that much.
It's not that much.
Look on the balance sheet pages.
Cash on hand?
No,
No.
it's,
Have it. And that is funded. From document fees,
yep.
$2 a
Get
page,
four,
or is it
we get $4 and $2 which goes into the share.
the reserve fund, yeah?
What was the number again for? To be able to take care of it all?
Almost $15,000.
What's the
What did, we were just saying that time.
records preservation fund?
That one,
It's 33,961.
sounds close,
Actually, we do this twice.
thought it was between 30 and 35.
That's at the end of, that's as of July 1. That does not include the,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
So the board knows we receive, we thought that fund is funded by receiving $2 per page for recording fees. Not funded through tax revenue. And it seems like a good application for me. Rosemary, correct me if I'm wrong, you're asking for authority to spend $14,000. Out of the record preservation reserve fund for record preservation.
In the near future. And probably the next couple of years, you're gonna have to buy a new map. And that's like $7,000.
Future board's problem.
And. The next year or two, you're gonna need more shelving units, those are very expensive too. We
Yeah,
got 3 or 4 shelves left, that's.
Where was that in the?
the very.
are you saying we shouldn't pay for it out of the reserve fund, or you're just playing ahead? Like saying,
They look possible expenses there.
yeah,
Which has our.
so. At this point, I would entertain a motion from the board. I would like to
Money.
point out that the quote seems really fair, but. Following procurement policy, I'd just rather have a motion
Yeah.
authorizing up to $15,000 if they can get another quote. But,
Well, this company, it will work with our software that we have now.
so it is kind of a somewhat limited pool.
Yeah.
It's not like we could really get a sealed bid process. Given the situation, how would the board like to proceed?
I will make the motion that we allocate from the records preservation fund. $15,000,
Amount not to exceed.
amount not to exceed $15,000. For the restoration of land records.
Second.
So motion and second, is there further discussion?
Just so you're aware, they have to take the records out of.
And you're comfortable with that? Okay,
Is this for restoration, digitization?
is digitization.
Or, so once they digitize them, will they just live on our servers or will they live anywhere else, you know?
Yeah, we'll be able to access them and they will also be able to access them.
Oh.
So if we need, say. We have another flood in 2 or 3 books that we store, we can print right from them. Having folks scan them.
Okay.
This same company would have book 1 to 99. That's why it's important to use the same vendor that we're currently scanning every single document through.
I guess I was wondering if like we should put like on the website or anything, like,
We have some of them,
Yeah, from 81 on,
yeah.
okay.
people can go on and search the records.
Okay.
So we're not gonna have a copy of this ourselves,
Yes.
Yeah.
we're gonna have it in. So we can access it
Mhm.
ourselves,
Yeah.
not go through that.
I think it'll be paper, thumb drive, and then there'll be the cloud that we'll be able to access it currently.
Yeah, as long as we have. Something we don't have to pay to get it again.
Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Alright,
All those opposed? Looks like you're good to go. Anything else?
I have the original
You know,
errors and omissions, get to it.
you're sticking around for that?
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get to it.
Yeah.
In quick time. Next up, road foreman's report. Jason?
How's it going? So my report's kind of a small report, don't get a lot done these days. We got the Gold Hill project, that FY25 grant, should be wrapped up by next week. Everything's been going pretty smooth, there's been 2 hiccups on the way, but I think we got them smoothed over, so everybody's happy. And we're gonna be moving back to the Cotting Hall project in about 2 weeks' time, or sooner, give or take, when the grant's wrapped up. The dirt work for the grant, that'll be wrapped up by the end of next week, is our plan. The paperwork side, that'll take a little bit of time. Been in schedule wise between myself, Tom and Alec, so. Yeah. As far as the trainings on here that are kind of important, I wanted to bring to the board's attention. I'm hoping for the board's support to get a 4th person back. Because years past, it's always been 4 with 600 hours of part-time work. Let me give that 600 hours up and we got the 5th guy back. We're working even less than it's ever been manpower before, personnel power. And we're falling behind a little bit, and I've made it a point to give the taxpayer a certain expectation of what we do for them. And they've got used to that. And it's gonna come a time shortly when we aren't gonna deliver the same expectations. I just say we're gonna stick to the 4-person thing. I want the board to assume responsibility of why we won't be doing winter maintenance like we've done winter maintenance. And why we won't be getting some of the stuff done ahead like we were through the grant projects and everything else. I've had the board members all different times ask me what they can do to support me. And I never usually complain, but now I am. I'm falling behind. I don't like to fall behind. Peter was in the shop when LOSHA came in, unexpected, did not know they were coming. And we aced it. I want to keep doing that, but it takes a lot of time that I have to be in the office for a little bit. I don't have that same time anymore. So. But it's your guys' decision.
I think there
If
was.
I may add one thing, these guys are doing a great job, so I live on Gold Hill. And even in the winter time, they do a great job, so. give them whatever they gotta have. I know, you're a little stressed.
You did do a great job. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Something the board might wanna know, the fifth person that used to work here has showed great interest in wanting to return, so. Would make it really seamless transition that happened. For training and all of today's certifications are already there.
I think for now. Maybe we have this on there's a write-up in the packet about it, right? And we have this. Same question in our next meeting when we're reviewing. Bids for study. I don't know what the time frame for that study would be. How's the board feel?
I think that. We need the fifth person, and. I think that we hear like at least once a week why we need a fifth person, and just like me who's. Not on the ground and not a municipal worker, I hear it so often. So. I would like to return the fifth employee. And I don't understand like hiring a part-time worker in the winter, or like hiring someone in the winter and hiring like, contract employees, like why can't we just have a fifth employee? Like, I don't understand. That's all I want.
We know how Mike feels.
This is a full board decision, by the way,
Yep,
so
I just asked the board.
we'll talk about it when we have. 5 of them.
So I would like to appoint another board member. First, is what you're saying.
Oh. Should be a decision of 5 and a 4.
I was just, when I was told to bring it up tonight in the report.
Yeah.
By the chair, so.
Yeah, I told,
Yep.
Jason has every right to advocate.
Oh, I
for his
understand.
department.
You can, it's no, advocate all day long if you like.
I guess there's not a straight answer tonight.
Well, I don't think we can give a straight answer tonight, but
Yeah,
I feel the
we're
same
here,
way
we're here.
as Adrian, yeah. I think we pulled the plug too quickly. Based on information that. I wish we had. A more accurate picture when we make it, so.
Fair enough.
I wasn't expecting decisions from that, so that's, it's okay. I just wanted to. Convey to the board my concerns, what's gonna happen. Foresee it happen.
And Dave? Anything else in your report, or do you wanna talk about paving?
We can talk about paving.
So I agree with the way that Tom wrote this up in the report, but because it's such a large dollar amount. And I'm not sure if you've seen the report, but. I'm not. Trying to put this bad, I think. The question from Tom. And it spans onto 2 pages. The question really is, do we go with a sealed bid process? Because we know it's gonna be a lot of money, and even though. It seems like a lot. I'm probably gonna have to lean on Rosemary a little bit. Sounds like we may be able to afford. That amount of work this year. Do you know what our? Paving reserve fund really
It's just
is?
a little over 300,000 if I recall.
That figure in the book plus 122,000.
Plus 122,
I took the 110 plus the 12.
okay,
You're planning on using a 12 for the end of Railroad Street, right?
12 was a separate project for the bridge, so from the bridge approach. To the first catch basin, I've talked to the village, and there's gonna be no need for to disturb that. In the foreseeable future, when the work is being done for their drainage. It's getting pretty bad, that section, drive through, so I was gonna have a smaller company come in and mill that. And do
Yeah.
overlay in that section. Up 65 feet.
I'll just. Because we got a lot of stuff going on, I'll just tell the board my feelings. I would like a sealed bid, but the projects make sense. To follow the procurement policy, we may only get one bid. But we put it out there. In a sealed bid form and we could. Hopefully have a quick turnaround, because we have
I guess my
budgetary
question,
numbers.
that is following the policy, and if we have a policy, we follow it, right? I think we all agree to that. Question is turnaround time.
Turnaround time and quality, like last year, 2.5 years ago, we chose to go with the one that was a little bit more expensive, but we wanted quality. So always a good thing. I am for the quality, especially when it comes to paving. If you're gonna put the money in the pavement, quality's gonna be there, not only in the mix, but in the prep. And in the base before you do it, because that's why I won't pave on top of Railroad Street, and that's why I won't do River Road East until we figure out what we're doing underneath it, it's a waste of money. So. I brought it up to Tom's attention, we talked about it a little bit, the paving could get a little bit cheaper, but we went down and looked at the project. And. To go from, like I previously talked to the board, of doing down to Wilson Road Bridge and Spitzer's Hill, because it gets pretty rough and torn up all the time. And then I was talking to the paving outfit, it wasn't gonna be that much more, and you're supposed to have, the one is supposed to have the numbers, we're supposed to have the numbers to me before tonight's meeting, but he got tied up, he said. It wasn't that much more to go from this bridge to the dump, and I figured to do that. Would be a worthwhile thing to get a lot of truck traffic on it to the dump, and I think all the residents in this town would appreciate it being paved to the dump. Especially during most season, but everything else.
Is the 2 week turnaround too quick? I. With vacation schedule, I don't.
I think I could pump out, I have like a template. If you
Because
could come in and meet with somebody in the office just to put in the distances that you know. Just so it's apples to apples, you could just throw it into my template.
Well, I met with both outfits and already done it, I've never gotten one bid back from one, because one, they had a thing come up. And then the last one that you, some people have seen, that one has been a pretty quick turnaround, it was a previous. For the people that we used. But they're the only two that have called back when I reached out to have them come and just give me a rough quote anyway, because I wanted to know what the project's gonna cost, but I wanted to know, I knew what money we had to spend. So I was trying to get the most paving done while they were here.
If I did it tonight. And just call you for questions, so it's kind of vague,
That's what I would like to see, like, we did not.
are you guys okay with that? And so that way the RFP's out there. But it's not as detailed as it normally would be, but then they'll reach out to the foreman.
Fine with me.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that if you guys are,
Last time is what we did.
we can select somebody in 2 weeks.
No.
You know. I believe 100% that you would have done everything fair, it's really just paper.
Yeah.
You know. And we aren't held to having to select the lower bidder. Because we can reject any or all bids. I hear you and think the board yielded to your recommendation 2.5 years
Yeah.
ago and it's been working out. And if we only get one bid. We'll see where we go, but we did a sealed bid. RFP. Well, 2 week turnaround. So you guys are okay with getting that out?
Yeah.
I appreciate it, being willing to get that out tonight, with upcoming. Plans.
Thanks.
Anything else from you, Jason?
Well, that's what tonight kind of was about for me, was to get boards feel if it's something that you guys want to see done from the bridge to the dump. I feel it's beneficial, but
If we can afford it. I personally am willing to take your recommendation, you know the roads better than I do. If we can't. Probably not, but if we can, you know. The money that we're talking about, there was 116,000 put in. 2024, and when we have this year's end of numbers, we'll add 110 to that. So it'll be 226 plus 110 again, there'll be 336,000.
Yeah.
I know I'm saying that in open meeting, but our funds are public records.
Yeah, no,
Let's look them up.
Probably wouldn't hurt to go all the way to the landfill, seeing it's such a. On the map now, it's such a,
Yeah,
It's really really bad spot there.
Yep, it wears hard. But like Jason said, it's not worth doing the asphalt unless you do the base.
seeing it's in the limelight now, people might show up just to have a look at it. So they
Yeah.
want a nice page, so they can get to it.
Alright. Do
Might as well go to
you want a motion from the board, or can I hold the consensus of the board that we would like an RFP with sealed bids to be opened at our meeting in 2 weeks? Is that correct?
Sounds good.
2 bids, at least 2 bids.
It's RFP, whoever bids it, bids it.
Well,
If
I
we
want more than one bid,
if we only get one, the board's gonna have to decide, but I
okay.
think it'll be a sealed bid, fair process. Right?
Yeah, whoever responds,
Response.
I can't make them respond.
Right?
What? Doesn't mean we only get one, they're gonna get it either.
Okay. Moving on. Anything else, Jason? You good? Okay, thank you very much.
All right, have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next. LCPC's in the hot seat.
You want us up there?
If you don't mind,
Sure, we're happy to come up. And Melissa is presenting, and I'm just going to do a little intro, and I'll bring it into the chair.
thank you for coming out, because you notice my wife had to bring my hearing aids, so. Unfortunately, I better you are.
No, the acoustics in this room are a little tricky. Yes, and let us know if you have any issues hearing. And since I'm used to testifying at the legislature, for the record, I'm Tasha Wallace, Executive Director of the Will County Planning Commission. And Melissa is going to present on our application, but I just wanted to put it in context. I think you've all heard that there are CBD, Community Development Block Grant funds related to the flooding from 2023. There's 67 available in the state. In the state plan, those are divided into categories for housing, infrastructure, mitigation, and planning. So out of the 67,000, 3 million is allocated to planning, and planning applications are not competing with infrastructure or housing or other things. And so what Melissa has worked to do is to create an application for Moyle County communities that helps takes projects that communities are interested in further along in design, so that those projects can be poised and ready for additional funding in the future, and really be ready, hopefully, to go at some point. So I'm going to turn it over to Melissa to talk about that application.
Yeah, so as Tasha said, and I'm Melissa Mega, Senior Planner with LCPC. So as Tasha said, this is a regional application, Moyle County application, for planning services. And one aspect of it is flood mitigation and restoration. And as you know, we've been studying a number of sites in Johnson, utilizing funding that we've received to see if restoration and mitigation can reduce surface water elevations and velocities in certain areas. These were community identified projects. And I know that Tom provided a list of the potential sites if you'd like them included in the planning application. And ultimately what we're hoping, we've been studying these sites for some time now. Additional study is required to make sure that this is effective and it's beneficial and doesn't have negative impacts. So this application, if awarded, would really bring it to shovel readiness if implementation funds become available in the future. And it's shown to they prove to be beneficial projects. So I can list which projects they are or which sites they are.
Sure, for public clarity.
Okay. The ones in Johnson include the Route 15 bridge, Bridge 37 in the center of town. And the via properties along the Guion River. The Route 15 bridge, bridge number 33 near Hogback Road. The MSI and Footbrook Farm properties. Portions of them. And oh, no, that's a different town. No, it's those three properties, Johnson.
So. Do you need a motion from the board? Or do you have a letter of support for us to sign?
At this point, I think just a motion that you support them.
What I would
Sorry.
entertain from the board is a motion to support pre-application on behalf of the Johnson projects for countywide planning. Is that good?
So, Mr. Chairman.
Is a motion a second? Is there further discussion? Is that question? Sorry, I'm trying to shuffle off. They're great projects and we've talked about them in the past, and previous boards have made them a priority, so I appreciate you guys keeping them on the docket. There's
Just for the minutes, Donna. There was a reference to 67,000. 67 million.
Million, sorry.
it's just
57 million, yeah.
Just.
zeros are the absence of.
You're right. It's a lot of money, yeah, thank you for that correction.
It's a lot of.
It's a lot. No, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that correction. And also just for additional information, that this is a pre-application process. If the state deems that we should go to a full application for this, that there will be a public hearing where the community can comment on the planning application. So it's really intended to be an inclusive process.
Okay. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And the ayes have it. Anything further? We good?
No, I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
both
so
very much for coming.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, next up, and it's because of the additions, I could be wrong, I thought the SLR amendment approval was in regard to the Lenway Lane, so I stuffed that in before the Lenway Lane bid.
Oh, it was for Holmes Meadow.
So it's on the same river.
We
I stuffed it in there anyway, so I'm apologizing.
Rosemary has them both grouped together as a flood mitigation project.
So there was an addition.
Uh-huh.
A previous board gave Tom the authority to sign contracts for the Holmes Meadow project that don't incur any more cost to the town. Being a new board, and an amendment, Tom wanted it to get it in front of the board. There's no additional cost for us, correct? So would you like a motion, probably formal, or?
Maybe to renew the motion to sign any documents needed that don't incur costs, don't incur additional costs.
For the Holmes Meadow project, that's.
Yeah.
Somebody wanna make that motion? That's a good one.
I like it, I'll make it.
Peter made that motion, Donna? Is there a second?
Okay.
Further discussion?
Has anything changed?
It's just the scope of work that's slightly larger, and so, I think this is their. My acronym might be wrong, but PFAS, there's a chemical that was found in one quadrant of Holmes Meadow. And I think the design work to remove that as part of this change of scope. It's taking more time than anticipated, so there's an increase from the original estimate from like 2021 versus now 2025. This has been a long going project.
Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Thanks for that interruption. I put it in the wrong spot. Next up is review and award the bids for Lenway Lane. Did that email from LCPC make it into the pack?
That's been the Mumley engineering it did, yeah.
It was from Mumley, yeah, okay, my bad. So. Do you want me to just do a brief synopsis for the public, or would you like to?
Because it's federal funding, this is like the technical opening, so if you wouldn't mind reading them aloud, it would be much appreciated.
Okay. I haven't seen any of the scopes, but they've been reviewed by the engineer, and the engineer's recommendation is to go with Dale Percy. For the Lenway Lane armoring project at $235,000.00. The other bidders were King's, $344,000.00. Monash, $359,695.70. Boulder at $483,000 and Walker at $524,405.00. So with a recommendation from our engineer who has reviewed these being Percy. How would the board like to proceed?
What's that for?
It's for Lenway Lane armoring. Do you know where the town gravel pit is?
Yeah.
Yes, you probably do. There was armoring above and below that, but there was no armoring in a section, and then the 2023 flood ate away at some of it, and it's armoring the rest of it with riprap. That's a really high level. Somebody could get way more technical than I can, but is that accurate? Accurate, I think.
Okay.
Nobody's arguing with me.
Yeah.
We're putting mud in there.
Yeah.
Everybody's.
Mr. Chairman, we'd be foolish not to go with the other person.
So
35,000.
Mike is making a motion to. Honor the recommendation of Mumley Engineering in selection of Percy Excavation at for $235,000 for Lenway Lane.
Second.
Is that accurate? Peter seconded. Further discussion?
I'm not,
This is all paid for with a grant, by the way. Sorry.
there, I'm not an expert on armoring, but. Is there, yeah, I'm gonna do this topic, is there like other options besides doing that?
We're doing it to protect the bank, which ultimately protects the roadway.
Protects our.
Probably the best option that every river engineer and analyst has recommended is get out of the way of the river. That's really high level what they say. But this is like similar to the town did it along Hogback Road. We've done it along Lenway Lane. I'm sure we've done it somewhere else. It's the state recommendation for preventing a bank from eroding. It's a lot cheaper than getting out of the way.
Definitely. Much cheaper than replacing the whole road.
And they're like temporary, right?
No, the riprap stays for
A long time.
until water moves it out of the way, which I can't really.
It's type 4 stone, which is 42 to 52 inches. It's boulders.
Okay. Okay.
Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Library relocation is there as a standing item. I believe we're still waiting for stamp drawings to go out to bid. Correct, Tom, is there anything else you'd like to add, or is that?
I did a final walkthrough today with Eric Schultz of the library subcommittee. And Ryan Steigels as well. I just wanted to make sure we had a group of people who could understand. The technical drawings from the structural engineer, and we confirmed all work was completed as specified, and the foundation is closed out. So they'll be paid tonight for their full portion, and it looks great.
Are you happy with the grout that's on it? Last time I looked at that grout, it had like little cracks in it, I thought.
They're I think it's cold joint. I don't know. It's supposed to be non-shrink grout. Doesn't appear to be growing. I did ask that and I pointed out some spots, and I think where they had the pockets. So you had, where there are beam pockets, and then above that, so you had a cold joint that was waterproof for the beam pocket, and then above that, a cold joint with the grout. And I think that's where the cracks are the most evident. I can't explain why.
Are they gonna mitigate those at all?
I don't think the structural engineer came by too and also confirmed that it was okay, so.
How can it be okay?
I can only say that they did the work as specified, and the building has been reviewed by the structural engineer.
The town spent $155,500 on that job. And there's cracks in that.
Well, that was the full foundation, right? That was-
Well, that's everything. That's including the whole job, but the finished product doesn't look really finished to me.
I think it,
We have like something in action. If you want Tom to reach out and say something.
Well, I'd like it somehow addressed. Whether they have to. You know, put some kind of slurry or something on that all the way through that to cover that crack up. Cause there's lots of little fissures all along where that ground is, if people go over there and look at it.
to be, the building is sitting on those steel shins.
I get it, I
Yeah.
really do, but it just looks untidy to me. I know what it's sitting on. And we went over this before, like, there should have been some kind of a Sikaflex or some material in there between those two layers, between the foundation and the bottom of the library. And I don't understand why it wasn't, you know, and it makes me wonder about engineers and stuff today, you know? What are they doing for the money that they get paid? I wouldn't accept that if that was my house. Not at all.
I guess we have a recommendation to sign off from the engineers, is that accurate?
Unfortunately, it appears as if we have signed the director's orders that are gonna completely pay for that. I mean, I just rescind my signature on that till that was fixed to my satisfaction.
But without providing what your satisfaction is. It's kind of-
Well, at least cover it up for crying out loud.
Put some Flex Seal on it.
Yeah, something.
Do the two of you feel the same way?
I haven't seen it, I don't.
I had looked at it, I didn't see the cracks.
Peter. You didn't put your glasses on.
That's possible.
I'm
I
gonna be honest, I have not been up to and touched it close enough where I could see them, and if a professional engineer does not have a concern. I
question these engineers that would allow that to sign off on that, really. Looks terrible.
They went to a school that I didn't.
Yeah, well, it doesn't take rocket science to figure out what looks good and what doesn't. And I'm gonna rescind my signature for those director's orders right now.
Okay. Anybody else want to rescind, or are we moving on?
Move on.
Okay. Anything else? I think we're good. Industrial park is just there as a standing item. I don't believe there's anything to report on at this time. We're still waiting for that. Public notice period to get the. We have another acronym. Oh. A NEPA review notice. After that, do we get a notice to proceed? NOP or?
Fonzie finding those significant.
There we go. That's,
That to be issued, and then we can apply for those received through NPR.
thank you very much, Melissa. She's way more up to date on acronyms. Next up. There's a question about parking for Old Mill Park concerts. Tom, would you like to take this one?
Yeah, this, so I've been speaking with both Isabel and Howard Romero, and I think it was an awesome night. You know, Tuesday Night Live was an incredible event for this community, especially with the short notice and change of plans. They pulled off something really beautiful. But parking wasn't great the first night, and I think it was actually maybe even a hazard, as emergency vehicles would have struggled to attend the event. Planning has changed, and so now they're going to be parking in the center field, and the stage is going to be on the lower field, the first field, if you will. The request of Tuesday Night Live is that they are maxed out, and they would like to somehow mark Railroad Street from like Jenna's to up to Old Mill, just with no parking on either side, maybe, you know, grave stakes and ribbon, but something clear, just because that's where the pinch point was. And then the other pinch point was on Lenway Lane, just kind of keeping cars away from the village shop, right? So that way the village can come and go, should they have an emergency, they should not be impacted. But outside of those two areas, I think people did a great job, and just the ask of Tuesday Night Live is, we need help, and so whether that's. We asked the road crew to help one day, I don't think it would take very long, whether we ourselves volunteer or whether we put out a call on Front Porch Forum or. But they have a lot of details that they're putting together and they would like some help, that's the request.
How's the board feel?
Sounds like the road crew, is kind of maxed out too. Personally, I would be happy to help with marking. Yeah, I don't know that I could do it alone, but I'd be happy to be part of a team, maybe, as we get some more volunteers on Front Porch.
If I did a Front Porch Forum post, could I put you as a lead, as point person? That okay with everyone?
You cool with that, Mike?
Yes,
And,
I'll
saves overtime.
help too, depending on what day you guys do.
Okay.
and then I think. When I use the Front Porch Forum post to do community knowledge that yes, there will be a change in parking. B, landowner information that there's gonna be flag and tape in front of your house. And C, call for volunteers. You okay with that messaging?
Yeah, you can even use it as public notice. Don't park in a
Yeah.
silly spot.
No silly sport, no silly parking.
That would be wonderful. Thank you very much, Tom. Depending on timing, Peter, you got.
Okay. All right. We'll be in touch.
All right, next item up is the interlocal assessor liaison. I believe all board members know Duncan served in this capacity for the interlocal agreement for assessor services. And we do need to appoint somebody else to fill that void. What would the board like to do? Don't all jump at once.
Yeah. For us newbies, can you describe a little bit more what that would mean?
There's 5 towns in the interlocal agreement: Johnson Park, Sheldon, Berkshire, and St. George. We hire an assessor. And then through an interlocal agreement, the other towns reimburse us after they're billed for their costs. So that would mean. Being the filter back to the board, there's a large lift in, I wanna say April, May, because we're due for renewal June 1st. Mostly it's just attending meetings heavily at that time of year, but if anything were to come up. It's spelled out in the interlocal that the liaison would be the report back to the board if there was any issues or.
You know how often meetings are?
Hefty emails in the April, May period. I think 3 Zoom meetings, they had it in this year because all the layouts there. Duncan, because he's our employee. Filled out all the sheets for costs. Combine everything, insurance. Bike bill, that. I tell to retirement to tell the towns, what it would be if they join. So it's a lot of. That. But through the end of the year. Or March. It's not a ton of work. I can serve in the capacity if the board would like, or you guys can have it, or Michael can have it.
Anybody else want to rescind their signature?
No, it's got 3 on it.
If one other person rescinded it,
It
then
would,
it wouldn't go.
do you guys feel like I took your opportunity away? Or you did?
I don't feel like it.
Alright, so we're back to interlocal.
What's that?
We're back to interlocal.
Yeah.
Not much of a lift now. Pretty heavy lift. April, May. And it doesn't have to be a board member. As long as somebody's familiar with. The. Process and what we owe for deliverables and what we receive in return.
It wasn't a board member.
Could be Rosemary.
I mean, it's a board member in all of the other towns.
The only reason I'm hesitating this much is that we have some other roles to fill.
Yeah, but we have an item coming up in 16 that will require an interlocal representative.
Yeah.
That's why, through very good organization of Tom, we're taking care of this one first.
Is it a resident?
Is it?
Yeah, like,
It should be, shouldn't it be somebody representing the interests of Johnson?
okay, just.
There's no law that says it has to be. There's a lot of paperwork.
If you're willing, I'd be happy to do it, but I can't make decisions. You know, I would have to let everybody know that I have to bring it back to the full board.
This position can't make decisions, that has to come back and forth. I offered to do it until March.
I'm not eager. Sorry.
Okay. I think we actually need a formal motion here.
I'd move to appoint Evan Patch as our representative to the interlocal agreement
For assessor services.
for assessor services.
Okay, further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, next up, there
Thank
is.
you, Evan.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Evan.
board. Next up, there are two updates for the lister. One is the errors and omissions. For public clarity, one of the errors was there was a removed tiny home before April 1st, and the other error is a combination of two properties because somebody purchased it and it wasn't caught by the time the grand list was lodged, so. If the board is so inclined to take the recommendation of our assessor, I would entertain a motion to accept the errors and omissions as presented.
Let's make that motion.
Okay,
Second.
there's a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? This does affect our grand list in the negative, but it's all correctly done, so.
Yes, that's we could.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And the ayes have it. We all have to sign this. Sorry, I gotta get that out of the way, it's today before. Okay, next up is training and mileage allocation. Being the new representative, I need direction from the board, but our employee that works in the interlocal agreement also works for another town separate from the agreement. The request is he will split his miles and hours out for training, but you can't change out training. Can't split training expense. We budgeted $1,500 for training, and he feels that the training would also do good for the other town, and the other town has agreed to pay their percentage of the training. Is this board okay with it? It saves all the towns in the interlocal pennies.
Absolutely.
Of course.
But it brings. And he said he talked to you about it, it wasn't gonna be a harder check. Said it wasn't an accounting thing or anything. Okay, so I'll bring that to the interlocal board. I have difficulty understanding why they would not say yes to savings, but. I don't think I need a motion, I think the board consensus was good. It works for me. Okay, next up is union negotiations, this is really just preliminary. Last time we did union negotiations, it was lengthy. We had two board members, town administrator and the town attorney. At all of the meetings. I think the attorney was good to have there, I think the town administrator was good to have there, and having two board members there. To work on the union negotiations and then report back to the board, I think it's. Helpful and it shows a good faith effort from the board to have two members there, we can't have three because it'd be a problem. right? How would the board like to proceed?
And remind me when that process begins?
We should probably rally up pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's, their contract's up December 31st.
When?
December 31st.
December 31st.
As soon as there's a group. The group should probably reach out to the union asking for their.
See, I thought they would have reached out to us, but.
One of the things I've learned is that if you rush this, sometimes there's a strategy to like pushing things off, so. It's really great to like get there, not negotiate in the room with negotiations, but accept their terms and then walk away and then talk about it and then come back, so. Lots of small, quick meetings.
Does Rosemary, you got your emails? Does the board want to pick 2 board members or 1? I think 2 is great, that's my feeling. Adrian, go.
I'll be one of them.
There you go, we got 1.
One's enough.
Wait a minute, you're like Mr. Negotiator.
Yeah, and you have a lot of union experience.
I'm not gonna be on that. I'm a short timer.
It's gonna be done before town meeting. Town meeting's in March. This has to be done before December.
This is your final goodbye.
Yeah, well, I don't have the countenance anymore to deal with that situation. Irritates me to no end, union negotiations.
Okay.
I would be a little worried about December because my other job gets busy in December. But I would be willing.
Just don't give away the farm.
We'll hear about it when we come back to Mike.
I will weigh in there.
So just keep an eye out for, you know, about that.
You want it to be you, Peter, or me? The other board, but. I'm more than happy to yield to you once.
Well, when we talked about this the other day. I did think it would be good if somebody with some experience was in the room. Yeah, I am also aware of how much falls.
I'll do it.
I think that's best.
Okay.
I was on the other side for a lot of years. I was on the employee side for 16 years as a shop steward.
And you ran a tight ship.
And I was on the negotiating team the first time that they unionized. But unfortunately, I was hospitalized for a couple of weeks. And it took me a while to get my feet back on the ground. So I was taken off from the negotiating team. But I was not happy with how things went. Unfortunately, it's going to be difficult to correct that at this juncture. The only thing we can hope for is not to bleed out. Make sure you have good compression bandages.
Fair enough. Okay, so I guess we gotta start an email tomorrow. You have plans for a little while and we'll try to set up a meeting, but we need to get a hold of our account attorney. I'll dig up some old info and we can dive right in for you. Next up, there's a letter to dead end roads. Is that in the packet?
It's in the beginning.
Yep. Do you want the go ahead on this, or do you want the board to read it and take it in?
So I met with Jason and we reduced the roads to ones where there's no turnaround in hard locations, which is good. But I think only you and Adrian has seen it, so it felt like the rest of the board should weigh in, since there will probably be some phone calls.
I read it. And phone calls, you're anticipating phone calls from people living on those roads.
Yeah.
I would assume so.
We. We need to be able to turn around.
Yeah, the only question I have, I think this is well written and truthful. And I can't remember where we left this, we talked about this back in June. Did the board want to run this by our attorney before it was sent out, to make sure that we could legally refuse, because I'm fine with the letter, and like I said, I think it's good and truthful. I just personally would like it run by the attorney, but the board needs to decide on it.
I think that makes sense, yeah, sure. If we're gonna say this is what we're gonna do, let's make sure. You can do it legally.
Are you
Yeah.
okay with that, Adrian?
Yeah.
Are you okay with that, Michael?
16 dead end roads. What a tremendous amount of money we have to spend. On 16 dead end roads.
Yeah.
Well, there's more than that.
Yes, I understand that,
Letter's only going out at 16.
yeah, but the 16 are here, we got a lot more on. But no, we need to run this by the attorney, and if it's kosher, send it out.
The other component that there were kind of two, I don't know if you remember, there was two parts. One was like to stop plowing, and then the other added piece of put in the option to call, you have the choice, you can call your own road up or let us put in a turnaround. I added that in. I think they were two separate issues, and I put it in one letter. Are you okay with that second paragraph?
I was perfectly fine.
Okay. And then do you want me to send this to just the last house or the last two houses?
Some of them only have one house. In fact, I think there's 6 of them that only have one house, so that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
All residents on the road need to know if we can't plow it, because we can turn it.
I think that's, I touched on it a little bit in the letter, but it just, the notion of, well, say the end is always blocking the turnaround. But there's another driveway that's safe to turn around at. Then you would only plow up to a point, clear it out, and then turn around, so. I'm not really sure how to handle those, other than. So do you refuse to hold drive, those are the questions that I actually don't fully understand.
I would,
I'll first go to the attorney and see.
yeah, go to the attorney. So that we're clear on directive.
Is this ready for prime time for any of the public here?
Sure. You wanna read it?
Well, no, I can hand it, I'll give it to.
Can you correct the logo? No, it's like super small.
No, it's big.
The other,
Yes.
so that we're being clear on directive. The board wants this run by our attorney. The attorney okays it, do we wanna see it again, or does Tom just send it out, the attorney okays it?
If the attorney okays it, send it out.
Except for that question.
I guess there's only 16 of them. I'm sure a lot of them are gonna be case by case basis, and it'll be a site visit probably with Jason and I. And then a report back to the board. So it's only 16 site visits, not the end of the world.
Yeah, no, they're only on multi-residence roads, which,
10 of them,
yeah,
11 maybe.
maybe not. That's just what I feel. How do you feel, Adrian?
Feels good. Yes,
So you're cool with attorney reviewing, if attorney approves, send it,
yeah.
okay.
I have a topic related but unrelated.
I believe we're done with that.
Okay.
Gold Hill's on you?
Gold Hill is not on here, it's a dead end road, but what are we messing with here? What's your related topic?
I talked to Aubrey Wagner, recently. She's the one who spoke at town meeting day a while back about.
Clear road.
Yeah, Sinclair Road. She was wondering, cause she I haven't seen your email, so I don't know what it said back to her, but she was confused by some of the terminology and things, so she was wondering if we could like do an in-person meeting to discuss and see if there's any way we could like get funding for it or like anything like that, so I wonder if you and me, her could meet, and if the board would be okay with that, and maybe Carl if needed, I don't know, but.
You know, I just read that reclassification process for the hearing coming up on September 2nd. When I get back would be a great time because it lays out pretty clear the responsibilities of landowners who want to upgrade. That just so they know what they're up against, you know, that it, as far as. And they'd be responsible for.
Which I spelled that out for that individual specifically back in
Yeah.
May,
March.
March,
It
okay.
might be nice to just, you know, show the orange book or the statute, just so it's clean and clear and.
Yeah, shouldn't have any, but they don't have any funding for it, so I don't know if like.
Yeah.
The grant could go after or like anything that can be done, but. Like to explore options.
I mean, it's a wonderful thing what you're thinking about doing, but a lot of people in this community have taken their own time, spent their own money to do this without any government entity looking for a grant for them. And if we, to me, it wouldn't be fair if somebody else split the bill, and then all of a sudden the select board is getting involved in finding grants and stuff for people to do this. I would, if I spent a lot of money on building a road and nobody helped me, and then all of a sudden the board is finding grants for people, I'd get a little ticked off about that myself.
Yeah. There is a hill, like a slight hill from the intersection of Rocky Road up. They're doing the inventory for MRGP. There might be some grant funding available for that section. If they deem it connected, hydrologically connected.
Yeah, when the grant thing comes up for class 4s, grant
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, there's no like kids live on. So. They're gonna need to do.
It's a lot of kids that live on. Multiple town road or non-town, right?
Sinclair at that point is class 4.
Does get pretty narrow. I drove up there after town meeting and I think it's right at the shoulder of the hill, right before the top, but till it's washed out over the last couple hundred years and it's like probably 6-foot banks.
Was the board okay with the meeting with Tom and her, and like, let's talk about it?
It's not the town's responsibility.
Really?
Is that really?
She could come into a meeting, if she wants to talk to the board and we could do it. Open to the public. And I thought I had answered her questions to the extent that I could, but yeah, I didn't send her a link to the orange book or anything.
Yeah, maybe if I could call her on the phone, I wrote her an email, but it did have technical terms, and maybe that would be. You know, I work in this stuff every day, so to me, I think I forget often that I'm. So maybe if you're okay, if there's a phone number, could I reach out? You know, that's probably take 5 or 10 minutes, but just to explain what I wrote.
Yeah, sure.
We're coming to pizza a week from Thursday.
Yeah, but that'd be a good idea.
It's just clarifying the town's not responsible for it. There's the last road that was reclassified up. Was technically Lenway Lane. That's because it had been missed for so many years. Before that, it was Woodward Road. Right? Fair enough. Oh, we're talking about Sinclair, there's actually a Johnson resident that lives on the Hyde Park side. Can't get fire trucks to.
What goes to Hyde Park?
Huh?
Goes over to Hyde Park.
Yeah. That's where it connects out. Yeah. But the Hyde Park Fire Station also, Vermont County knows that,
Okay. All right.
I believe.
I was worried there for a minute.
Okay, next up, is there anything on old business? Do we need the first executive session?
Here, Adrian and I met, and it was just we could probably do both in one motion. It's just like a quick update.
Okay. So at this point. I would entertain a motion from the board to enter executive session for negotiating or securing a real estate purchase or lease option as allowed by 1 VSA 313A2. As well as entering executive session for employee evaluation as allowed by 1 VSA 313A3.
So,
Second.
There's a motion and a second. For clarity of the public, I do not foresee any actions coming out of executive session. And Tom is invited to executive session. Oh. And that's it. Wanna know who runs the town? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. Board is entering executive session at 7:51.